Words don't usually fail me, but it's difficult to describe the noise made by the original lancia Stratos. As we carve through the Italian Alps, there's plenty of sheer rock for the sound to ricochet off, and when the road opens out again, a vast, mist-cloaked vista rolls out below us. The Stratos pops, bangs and farts its way along, the very essence of explosive fuel, air internal combustion, but underpinned by a thrumming six-cylinder timbre that sounds like 1974 in mechanical form. In the car versus mountains battle, nature usually wins, but not today. Today, nature is being kicked in the nuts. Sunrise is almost upon us, and following this snarling little black beastie, savoring that sound as it strafes the Dolomites and devours the road, is already right up there in my catalog of life-affirming moments. But you know what they say, you wait ages for one lancia Stratos to come along, then two turn up at once. Still, no point pussyfooting around. Remember, the donor car for the new Stratos was a Ferrari 430 Scuderia, whose shiny surface bits were all thrown away, but whose gizzards have been reincarnated in a most spectacular fashion. At 1,247 kilograms, this car is reckoned to be around 150 kilograms lighter than the Ferrari, and, thanks to a new EQ an extraordinarily costly bespoke exhaust system, supplied by Caprostone, it's made of stainless steel just 0.5 mm thick. It now rings 532 bhp from its 4.3-liter, normally aspirated V8. The suspension runs new damper rates and has stiffer springs and new bushes, Brembo ceramic discs, at 398 mm up front, 350 mm at the rear. They're almost the same size as the old car's wheels, provide retardation, and the tires are chunky Dunlops. This isn't a car so much as a war machine. Crucially, the new Stratos also lops 20 cm out of the Scud's aluminum chassis, so it even apes the original's truncated look. This is both exciting and worrying. Such was the old Stratos' tricky polar moment of inertia. It was rare to see one traveling in a straight line, even as it racked up 3 back-to-back World Rally Championships in the mid-70s. Its propensity to sideways behavior was mainly due to its Ferrari V6 sitting relatively high and transverse in the middle of the chassis, but also because of that comically stumpy wheelbase. This is one of those cars that doesn't just accelerate, it beams itself down the road. You are at point A. Now you are at point B. The bit in the middle is pulverized. There is absolutely no sense of mass at all. It just goes where you tell it to go and gets there while you're still thinking about it. Ferrari's electronic diff has been replaced by a Drexler mechanical item used in the WRC, which not only weighs 23 kilograms less, but also helps fire the Stratos through corners with fantastic aggression. Dial out the traction control, and it'll slide in a heartbeat. You're less busy at the wheel than you would be in Ferrari's 458 Italia, but it's still a fast-moving, almost hyper-real experience, even in a car park. A power-to-weight ratio of 427 bhp per ton tells its own story. 62 miles per hour is history in 3.3 seconds, 120 miles per hour of memory in under 10 seconds. All of this in a one-off car that is stunningly well realized. A hunk of gorgeous carbon fiber fashioned into a shape that drags the original Stratos into the 21st century. Then again, the original Stratos was pretty crazy too, a product of the 70s when the drugs were stronger, the hair longer and anything went. Judged in this current era of automotive bloat, the old Stratos is a tiny, barely their cartoon of a car, with a proper cockpit and a deep well of glass for a windscreen. When the FIA's officials came to inspect the 400 homologated road cars, Lancia showed them 200 finished vehicles, before whisking the delegation off for lunch. The story is that the inspectors didn't notice that it was the same 200 cars they viewed after lunch.